Well, hello, everybody. I'm Heidi Kaisand, owner of Hen and Chick Studio in Conrad, Iowa. And today I have a very special guest with me today. It is Payton Pekarek. And hello, Payton. How are you doing today?
I am doing great, Heidi. Thanks for having me.
Well, wonderful. Well, it has been a rough, I think would be an understatement, a rough few months for you. Uh, I would love to have you tell all of our followers and customers here at Hen and Chick Studio what has been, a little bit about yourself, what's been happening, and what's going on with you right now.
Yeah, so where do I even start? Because my story doesn't start really a few months ago either. But I'm Peyton. I'm 19. I am a sophomore at UNI. Just finished up my sophomore year. Last year, my brother's coming in the house, so ignore that. Last year, in June, I had surgery to remove a tumor, and they discovered that it was benign. It was called an osteoblastoma, and said it would never come back, never had to worry about anything. And then 3 months later, I noticed the same exact pain in my knee. And I'm like, oh, this isn't good. So I went back to the doctor in November. They did an MRI and everything. And they're like, it's just recurrent osteoblastoma. So you have nothing to worry about. We'll just watch it for a couple months and then, remove it again. So fast forward to March, here I was going into surgery thinking it's just a benign tumor again. Nothing to worry about. Just recovery is going to be the hardest part. And then, a week after actually surgery, my doctor called me and said, this time it's cancer. We need you to come in the next day. So then the next day I went in for a whole bunch of tests, met with the doctors, started chemo the next week. And yeah, here I am 3 months later, just not finishing up, but continuing chemo.
Yes, and they wasted no time for you
No, they did not.
in getting to chemo, which to me just speaks to the severity of what you are dealing with. And one of the things that I have seen on your T-shirts is that I'm going to say that it's rare. This isn't a cancer that is, I'm going to say, normal amongst 19-year-olds. Is that correct, or amongst anybody?
So actually this cancer that I have occurs mostly in teenagers.
Oh,
Um,
really?
but it accounts for only 1% of all cancers, so it's super, super rare to get it at all. And it's mostly occurs in guys too. So I'm a woman, so it's also rare to have it. But I do want to note that I have high grade osteosarcoma, which is the most aggressive type of my cancer. So yeah, they wasted no time with me.
Yeah. And Peyton, it's very hard for me. I know you. I know your family, and I'm going to get emotional as I say this. It's it is just hitting close to home, and I can't fathom the emotional roller coaster that you've been on, that your family has been on, that the picture that we're going to be having on the website that you sent me is one of you with all of your track medals from high school graduation, which was what year did you graduate
20,
from high school?
2020. Yep.
2020. So we're basically 2 years out of graduation, and you are now in a few weeks going to be having a complete knee replacement.
Yes.
And it's just amazing, but not necessarily in a good way, that
Yeah.
how quickly things change.
Yes. I really can't even wrap my head around it. They also, we asked them, we're like, last time was this cancer and we just missed it, and they couldn't answer that either. So now in my head I'm like, how long have I had this for? But I have full trust in everybody.
Yeah.
There's emotional days for me too, but at this point you can only think about the positive and go from there. So
Yes. And once you get your knee replacement in a couple of weeks, which is late June for anybody who might be watching this, that's not the end of this for
no,
you.
that's kind of just starting it actually. I have a long road of chemo, like 8 to 12 more months of chemo. And that's if everything checks out. So I could be going for a much longer time if the cancer, has spread anywhere else, or, if it's back. And then potentially more surgeries in the future if, they find it somewhere else. So yeah,
Yes.
we're just starting.
And you were going to Iowa City for treatments, which is that 2 hours one way? Would you call it a 2 hour trip one way?
Yeah, it's about 2 hours.
About that. And so your parents and your family are going back and forth with you, but when you go, you do stay for a period of time because of the type of chemo they're giving you.
Yeah, so I have different types of chemo depending on what time of the month I'm going, but every single time I have to stay for at least 3 days. So this next one I go on Thursday, and I have to stay in there for 5 days because it's so high tense chemo and they have to give it to me very slowly. So I can't leave the hospital until it's out of my system completely.
Mhm. And then I'm going to just say an unfortunate side note is that your mom can't stay with you in the hospital because of however, I mean, it's beyond me as to why these things happen, but because of the way you were brought into the hospital, you are considered an adult, not a child. And so therefore your mom is not, because of COVID, your mom is not allowed to stay with you. And so your family is having to incur hotel costs so that she can be there in the hours that she can be. And again, I think even when we think of people like yourself or others that I've known who have good insurance, there are so many expenses beyond what insurance covers that I think so many of us don't even realize, whether it be the gas, which is skyrocketing right now and costs a lot, or the hotels, the rooms that your mom has to stay at, or whoever is staying with you. So I hope that our goal here at Hen and Chick Studio is to raise as much money as we possibly can, selling quilts, finished store samples like the one hanging behind me during the month of July. And what we do, so just so you understand, and so our listeners do, is that let's just say, I don't know what the price of this quilt is, so I'm going to just make it up. Okay. So let's just say this quilt is $100. It would be $100 plus sales tax. And if we have to ship it, the person would pay shipping. But the $100, 100% of the price of the sale of of the actual quilt is going to go to you directly. And that I hope will make a difference. We, Goldie, Virginia, have been working hard on getting the quilts ready to go up on our website and get ready for the event. And I believe we have probably 50 quilts or somewhere in that ballpark. Might still be digging out a few more as it gets closer. But during the month of July, we have the opportunity to, I think, make a fair amount of money for you if we can sell all those quilts. So our goal with all of this is that even if you can, if somebody who's listening can't buy a quilt, tell somebody else, because maybe they could or would want to, and could help us. And the more that we spread that word, the better results we'll have for you. So
I just want to say I appreciate everything that is going to help so much. Like you said, hotel, food, just little stuff that you wouldn't think about and everything's very expensive now, especially hotels down in Iowa City. So
yes.
yeah, that means so much to me and my family.
Well, we're glad to help. So let's talk just a little bit more about you. I was cleaning this weekend and I found some cute, you won't probably be able to see it very well in here, but it is the Union Witten Hustlers. And this must have been the spring cleaning of the Witten City Park. Oh, at the April meeting in this particular case. I don't even know what year this is. It's cut out, so I can't tell what year it is. But 4-H has been a big part of your life at this point. Tell us, let's get to know you a little bit. What were some of the favorite things you love to do in 4-H?
Well, I showed rabbits for I don't even know how long since I started 4-H, so fourth grade to my senior year. So I always enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the fair. I think just hanging out with friends. I was on county council, so we got to kind of plan the fair and everything, and that was super fun. Yeah, I mean everything about 4-H was fun.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. I know that always fun to see what all of you guys would do with your animals. And you took home a few trophies with those rabbits, as I recall.
Yeah, I don't think there was a year that we didn't go home with any trophies. So yeah, I was racking them in for sure.
Well, that is awesome. When you were in high school, uh, tell us a little bit about maybe some of the highlights of what you enjoyed in high school.
Oh, that's a lot. Track was my all-time favorite sport that I ever did. I was a state champion my junior year of high school in the shuttle hurdle relay, which was definitely probably one of the biggest highlights of my high school career. Homecoming queen, that was awesome. And then just all my other little sports. I did cross country, I did drama, I did band. I loved band. That was like my, other than track, probably my favorite extracurricular. Yeah, just I loved high school. I kind of miss it.
There certainly are a lot of things that are good about high school. What about college? What are your highlights other than having leg pain? Tell us what are you enjoying about college?
So I'm at UNI, but I started at Iowa State and I really enjoyed Iowa State up until the point that I started having leg pain. But because that's such a big campus to walk around, so when you have leg pain, that doesn't really go together. But UNI, switched over to UNI my sophomore year. Love it there. I'm majoring in HR management. Hopefully, I have to take a year off, but hopefully I'll be able to get back to school because I love it there. Made a lot of new friends. We hang out still sometimes. Yeah, college is definitely fun too.
Yeah. So you're going to have to put that on hold while you're going through all this chemo and everything. I wondered if you were able to do any online classes or anything, but
I can take one or two just depending on how I think I can do, but
yeah,
I can't go back full time until all this is over.
yes. What do you fill your time with when you're in Iowa City and you're doing the chemo? Like, do you read? What are you, what is keeping your mind active and your days full?
So when my mom is able to be there from 9 to 5, we normally go take a lot of walks. So I pretty much know that hospital like the back of my hand. But when she's gone, I do cross stitch. I've just started taking that up. So I've been working on a project. And other than that, I kind of just read. I've gotten a lot of books from people, so I have plenty of those. And then just kind of watching Netflix. So they have a Wii there, so I can play the Wii.
All
Just
right.
yeah.
So what's a good movie you've watched recently?
I don't know about a movie. I'm not really a movie person. I did watch man, I can't even remember what it's called. I can't remember. But I did watch The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix. It's a TV show. One
Okay.
season. I actually really enjoyed it, so I would recommend that to anybody.
Awesome. I'll have to get Netflix. That's one account I don't have yet. And as you're reading, anything in particular what kind of stuff do you like to read? Are you reading, motivational or fiction, or what do
I
you?
kind of go all over the place with books. Just because most of the time they're given to me, so I don't really get to choose. But if I had to choose, I really like historical fiction. I like biographies, autobiographies, and then sometimes I like thriller kind of stuff.
Yeah, very interesting. I just finished a great book called On Fire by John O'Leary, and I won't get into any details, but I'll tell you, I thought of you many times as I was reading his story. It's sort of a motivational book, but it is a book about his story of literally being on fire and at the age of like 9. So the good news is it turns out he writes a book about it, but it doesn't. It talks a lot about and again, it made me think about what days I'm sure are like for you sometimes, where you wonder, you know, can you get through the day, and what's it going to be like? And the thing that I would say to you, Payton, that I have read in recent things about different things is, don't ever give up, because the miracle is probably coming tomorrow. And if we stop short of that, we won't ever know if that miracle is going to happen. And so I just encourage you, with all my heart and with everything we can do here for you, that you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and keep knowing that everybody is supporting you. And let's see, your hashtag is
Power for Payton.
Power for Payton.
Yep.
So we love that. And, you know, maybe we'll get to talk to you again, but just knowing that your month of June is going to be busy, we wanted to take a few minutes to get a time with you. So I appreciate you coming on and recording this with me, and we wish you the best of luck.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.